Hello folks, and welcome to another Sasoi spikeboarding tutorial and demonstration. We are in an alley, of course, headed out onto one of our favorite places to spikeboard, and that would be in Sloan's Lake area of the Metro Denver area. We're in Colorado in Denver, and we just popped out of the house, and just thought it'd be nice to show you what a little bit of winter spikeboarding looks like. And we're actually going to be able to execute two strokes in spikeboarding. We're going to be able to kubi cross and stand up spike on this circuit. Sometimes you can't engage the foot and you cannot execute a kubi cross when you're in snow. And if you want to see a video like that, just go ahead and go to our website, SpikeBoarding.com, and you will see some really mighty fine winter slush spikeboarding that we filmed in New York City. Guys, there's slush all over the place. Missouri, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Gee, this just must be everywhere. And who the heck ever did anything in slush? And today we're going to see a little bit of light snow cover, and we're going to see how we stand up spike through it. So there's a tiny little bit of speed reduction there, which we wouldn't have done had we not had a camera bike right in front of us. Yesterday we made an unbelievable video on this same circuit, more or less, and look at the fall colors. It was beautiful. We were in shorts and the sun was out, so you'll see an accompanying video coming up here, which was just absolutely beautiful. But on a day like today, the idea is not to focus on speed, and it's not even to focus on power all that much, but it is to focus on very gently and diligently staying over your center line so as to not have your rear wheels or your front wheels just slide out from under you. Now, the temperature is probably hovering around 26 degrees with a little bit of light snow. Notice how we're just very gently tapping on that skateboard spike and not thrusting a tremendous amount of core into it. What we're doing is we're engaging the core and locking it up, but we're not going to really drive into it. When you drive into it, you're sort of unwinding a little bit, and that unwinding situation is what you don't want. We kind of stopped and checked the camera was rolling in that cold, and that's what that edit was about. So every time we get to a little bit of snow cover and some leafy situations, you're going to see how gently the athlete behaves and worries much more about balance than they do about power. And in some instances, you can see where the power is engaged a little more. So winter spikeboarding is a delicate exchange of just finessing power, and that's what you want to do. So notice how that's just nice and light. It's, all those of you who've ridden bicycles, you do any snow bike riding, or if you do road riding in the winter, so that back end is just washing around just a little bit. And keep in mind that at these temperatures, as we were mentioning before, if the top of your deck is getting wet, well, it's going to turn into ice. So by the end of this session, this board was basically covered in ice, and so some spikes are going to help you. You can just get some rubberized slip-on spikes. They're going to help you, but if you don't have them, it's just going to make it all the more interesting. And guys, this is really light snow cover, light slush. It's not that big a deal. What's really a big deal is the ice on the top of the deck, and of course any sort of ice that you might find on the pavement. You're just going to have to zip straight across it straight without any lateral forces, or you're just going to wash out, and that's not going to be fun. But on days like today, you will work so hard, it will blow your mind, and they're very well worth getting out. And also, who skips workouts if you don't have to? And it's a pretty hot sport, so that's a thermal top that the athlete has on. You're going out for 2 hours or 3 hours, you'd still probably just have not a thermal jacket as the athlete's wearing now, but just a thermal top with a light vest, because you're going to heat up a great deal. The sport's very much like running, absolutely, and probably that neck gaiter that's going that high probably would be a little less. We probably have a couple of those things though stored away in our pockets. Make sure we could put it on if we had to cool down a little bit or had a little U-turn and started to get cold on the way home. So now we're going to just climb the Sloan Lakes area, back up all the way to the top. Not to the top, actually to 32nd. We're not going to take to the top today. We just want to give you a little feel and taste of what winter spikeboarding looks like. And obviously the entire road could be frosted over and slightly glassed over with some snow, and you would just be stand-up spiking this whole thing. Again, just go to our YouTube channel and look around, or just Google winter spikeboarding, and many times spikeboarding ends up going out the window, and all you're going to do is stand-up spike. So stand-up spike, remember, it can be a standalone sport all by itself. It's one stroke, ambi-pedal skill set. You're going to develop stand-up spiking on both sides. And then spikeboarding, of course, is a kubi cross, a stand-up spike, and an inside kubi cross. You need all three of those strokes to consider yourself a spikeboarding athlete. Very much like swimming, you're not an individual medley swimmer unless you compete in all four strokes. And this is very similar in spikeboarding. Spikeboard, it's all four strokes. But come winter, you're looking at stand-up spike, and if there was just pure slush across the road, there's no ability to kick. It's the world of the stand-up spike in winter. We're going to take a little left here, keep climbing up towards 32nd Avenue, and then come back down and show you what that looks like. It's pretty early here in the morning. I believe it might even have been a Sunday, so things are mighty quiet, and that's really nice. So you can just get your workout out of the way here in Denver, and you can do this all over, no matter where you live. Of course, Sloan's Lake is really the highest elevation in Denver. Denver's fairly pan flat. So hope that it snows even a little more. The more snow cover, the icier it gets, and the more work you have to do. So notice how when we go through those areas of slush and snow, we're not kicking, because there would be no point in it. You can't kick down onto what's going to be icy or slushy or snowy. Your foot's just going to slip. And that's the beauty of the spike, and it is of course the only handheld device in the world to stand up with on snow with any good performance. So now we're just going to crisscross our way up to 32nd, pop up rain, and you might say, oh, those gloves look a little bit excessive. Well, this particular athlete has a good case of Raynaud's going, and so feet and toes, you want to keep them warm, guys. Whatever you need to do that. You need to put a little charcoal underneath your toes, maybe some charcoal in your hands. That helps as well. And notice the ginger, delicate little spike, not a bunch of twist as we normally would be unwinding into that stroke when we are on that slippery stuff. It's like being on a road bike going over some ice. Just keep it gentle. Don't apply too much power into the transmission, because there's just no way to keep it all forward and backward. You're going to have a little lateralness to it, and when you're going through stuff like that, you can't really add a lateral, because you'll start going lateral. The wheels will release very, very quickly, but it's a nice challenge, and snow days are delicious, and it keeps your mind sharp, and there's just a new set of skill sets that you need to pick up. Also, your stroke shortens just a little bit in the winter time when you're going through icy stuff. Just helps you not apply lateral forces, keep everything going straight forward. And when we pop back out onto the wet pavement, and we know it's not really icy, go ahead and resume the kind of stroke that we normally would when we didn't have icy conditions. But it's beautiful to see Denver like this, and also it's lovely to go out on days like this and know that you're participating in a winter sport. You might not be out in the woods, and of course no one's saying this is equivalent to snow skiing at all, but you'll get a little bit of feel of activating your body with cross-country ski motion around snow, and of course it's always delightful. And we would never pass up a day on snow skiing. Why would anybody do that? That would be crazy. But the idea is to keep yourself fit, keep yourself sane, and get constant lifelong full body development as often as possible. And that's why we're showing you this video, to demonstrate that it's not going to stop just because there's a little fluff out there. Now, you could be doing this, and so we're starting to check that deck, and I don't know, we're about 12 minutes in, and we're starting to feel that deck getting icy, so we'll get a little feel for it. And as we switch, we have to pay a little more attention to that. But what we're going to say is, you know, these roads, you could roller ski all these roads. It wouldn't be a problem. We've seen people do it before, and they've done worse. Only again, it's just not as casual, and it will be exceedingly challenging for you to snowplow and to do any sort of stopping. Cadence braking works very well with spikeboarding downhills, as long as it's relatively wet pavement, and also as long as it becomes hard pack and things of that nature. Obviously, if it becomes sheer ice, you're not going to stop on anything, so keep an eye out for all that. There's 32nd, and normally we would just keep going, do that little chicane there, and just go left and right, keep going up right. It's only one more block to the top. And now we're just going to show you a little bit of switch drifting along with cadence braking. So we can cadence brake straight down, or we can just take a little switch drifting. I think we start doing on the next block. So right here you're seeing straight away switch drifting and cadence braking, and notice how we just went a little low and kept it straight. As soon as you hit ice, there's just no ability to turn whatsoever, so you just got to keep it straight, stay right over the center line, stay calm, cool, and collected. But notice how well that cadence brake works. You really want to pop it off. The reason we really started doing it years ago is because you know, a foot drag is just not going to work at all. You're not going to be able to foot drag your foot on wet pavement. It just doesn't happen. And of course, the shoes we love are the North Face Hedgehog shoe, and in the winter we love the Storm. Right there we're wearing the Storm. It's a wonderful shoe. It's not you know, if things get crazy slushy, you're going to have to go to a boot. And if you see us out doing pure slush and deep snow, not deep snow, but sort of deep slushy, just, you know, 6 inches of melted slush and all that, you're going to have to go for a boot. But the Storm works pretty well. Oh, well, looks, we never did any switch drifting with any carving at all. So sorry about that. We just went ahead and cadence braked all the way down. And now we're heading along 29th Avenue. We're going to pull into the alley where we stay. We're just about done with this, folks. We hope you've enjoyed this video and seen how accessible spikeboarding is, especially in winter. There's no reason to not get out. You know, and just look at some of our videos or Facebook page that explains, you know, how to keep the board well maintained. Just need a lot of lubrication. Finish Line for mountain bikes, that's the product to get. Comes in a green bottle. Lube the bejeebers out of every single nut and just squeeze a bunch right into your steel encased bearing. Spin it around, you'll be good to go. The soy board's going to keep you dry and stable. So we hope you've really enjoyed this video, guys. So spike hard, spike often, Denver spikeboarding, spike winter, and we'll see you at the next one. Come on out, guys. Spike with us. Be well. Bye-bye.